Got what I want.
I've prepared a 37-page report on the economic value of...
That's boring.
Yo, a teenager just got 20 million views filming their dog sneezing in slow-mo.
That's the attention economy. Be the boring binder, or be the dog sneeze. It's your choice.
Behold, I've spent $200 million creating a cinematic masterpiece with A-list actors, explosions, and CGI dragons.
Cool. I just filmed a 1-minute soap opera where my goldfish cheats on me, and it got 30 million views overnight. People love drama. Doesn't matter how cheesy. One phone, one hook, and boom, bam, bigger reach than your dragons. Maybe I should get a goldfish. Hey, you. Yeah, Y-O-U. Buy my product today. Limited time only. Act now or forever miss out. Anyone? No one? You sure?
You see, content and ads like that are not working anymore. Check out this next clip that don't only build trust, but create binge-worth momentum. So last year, I was struggling with the same problem most of my clients face, and here's how we solved. The difference? Ads are one-night stands. Docuseries are relationships. People don't just buy, they binge. And the best part? One docuseries episode is Costco content. One sample turns into clips, posts, and podcasts in your cart. Quibi burned through $1.4 billion in record time, proving you can spend a fortune making short shows nobody asked for. Wait, they spent how much? That's like ordering a Happy Meal with a private jet. No wonder they tanked.
Yeah, Quibi crashed. But here's the thing, docuseries are a whole different ballgame. You don't need Hollywood budgeons anymore. You just need a story, a phone, and an audience that craves connection.
Wow. I think that's what I need. Forget Quibi. Sign me up for the docuseries playbook.
Yeehaw! Welcome to episode 1 of my docuseries. Today, I'll be reading the entire history of financial regulations, starting in 1864. Just kidding. Okay, here's how you actually make a docuseries. First off, you need a story arc. Beginning, middle, end. No story means no bin.
You keep it short, snack-sized, not a Thanksgiving buffet.
And finally, every single episode needs a hook. Yes, even in business. Cliffhangers aren't just for soap operas. And the real playbook? That's what we're diving into this Friday at 8 AM PST. Netflix is losing to teenagers with iPhones. Hollywood spent billions and got outdone by a kid with a ring light. Here's the part nobody's talking about. Attention is the new currency. If you can't capture it, you can't keep it. And if you can't keep it, you can't monetize it. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain and giving you the exact playbook to build your own money-making docuseries machine. By the end of this session, you'll know exactly how to build episodic storytelling that makes your audience binge you like Tiger King in quarantine.
All right, welcome everybody to this week's masterclass. I'm always entertained by what our producers create. And somebody needs to teach that surfer that he needs to change the direction of his feet. Being in California, he's got to turn sideways. Anyway, just having fun. But if you missed it this week on Digital Advisor Weekly, we've been talking about making episode or episodic storytelling that is becoming the new gold mine around the world. They're micro dramas, whatever you want to call them. And today we're going to take you behind the curtain and we're going to break down the whole process, give you everything you need to know so that if you want to do it on your own, you have it, and also read the resources that we use to make it happen. So the whole thing is great because you don't need a big budget, a film crew, lighting, and all of that other stuff. We can show you how all of this can be done with you only having to get on camera one single time to create a couple photos to create the entire process. Now that's better than getting on camera every single week, constantly trying to memorize scripts and jump in front of a camera and get all dressed up. It is sometimes feels like insanity when you're trying to run a business at the same time. Let's check out this next video.
And so I come here on this long flight to pound here attention. Attention will get you everything you want. You want to sell a course? Attention. You want to sell a t-shirt? Attention. You want to be the mayor of this town? It's a wow because it's free. And yet people will complain and say, oh, Instagram shadow banned me. You want to raise some money for your nonprofit because you're passionate about it? You want to be an actor? Attention.
It's so true. Early in my career, my dad said the best thing you could ever do, no matter what you decide to go into, is you need to go take speaker training or public speaking, because your ability to hook people, your ability to draw them in and grab attention will apply to everything you do in life, including meeting my wife. And if I hadn't grabbed your attention, oh boy, my life would look a lot different today. So it's something we all need to do. And in this entire process today, I'll tell you, that's the number one most important takeaway, because we can automate and use AI and everything else, but garbage in, garbage out. If you don't know how to write a script that grabs people's attention, it won't matter. So don't waste any time until you figure out how to grab people's attention and learn how to tell a story. Now, to write the whole thing out, of course, you can use AI for help, but again, it's going to need your creative input. So first things first, you can't just hit record, obviously, and wing it, because you do need that story arc. You got to figure out what that is. And boy, has it been fun having advisors submit their story arcs and seeing how creative they are. There are some really creative. I'm seeing Garth and Barry, David. I've seen some of their ideas come through, and it just keeps blowing my mind. I love the collaboration. If any of you who are watching have other ideas you'd like to submit them, I'd love to hear them, and we could help point you in the right direction. rob@amhsupport.com. All right. Now we're going to talk about building a story arc. It's got to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. The beginning is like where you're creating that conflict or that tension. The middle is the story, journey. And then the end has to be the resolution and a teaser for the continuation of the story. Drama, stakes, conflict, resolution. Drama, stakes, conflict, resolution. And without it, you're just another prisoner talking to yourself in a jail cell that nobody ever wants to come visit. It's echo chamber, I think we've called it in the political world. So there are 3 different killer arcs. I don't know if we can go dual screen and I can bring our AI executive producer on to join us for the rest of our workshop today, or masterclass today. There we go. Brian, thanks for joining us. And Redco, I think, is officially becoming, what is it, MindSpark?
Smart Fuse.
Smart Fuse, thank you. I just heard about this yesterday, so super excited for you. And he is our executive producer for all of our production of AI and animated, both productions of social media influencers and all the way to the Docuseries production. So thank you for joining us, because your experience is what helps give people the answers they need. So we're going to jump into the 3, because for the most people think there's one kind of set format. There's actually 3 formats there. And so I'm going to go through them, and feel free to chime in and give your opinion, because obviously I've learned most of this from you. But the transformation arc is number 1. And that transformation arc is like watching Luke Skywalker get mentored by Yoda, and he starts the whole movie kind of as this weak, unconfident, not a lot of power, to saving the universe. And that story arc is something that is iconic in so many great movies. But then people feel, Brian, like I'm a financial advisor talking about indexed universal life. How do I create a drama out of that? So that's why we have the other two story arcs, right?
Yeah.
So,
It all stems from the hero's journey, which I forget the book that comes out of, but that's been the classic story narrative framework that Star Wars has used. Every Pixar movie uses it. Every Disney movie uses it, and it's a formula. And once you understand the formula, then you can just plug in the parts and pieces, and you can tell any story. The hero starts his journey. He doesn't want to go, but then he goes, and then he meets people along the way. Then he has, a conflict, transformation. Then on the way back home, he gets the gift or wins the prize or saves the princess. And then when he comes back, he's transformed and he's changed.
yeah.
And so that's the storyline we have to follow. And it's your audience, and how is your audience and what you're giving them, how are they changed by the time they go on that journey?
And transformation also, it can apply to what we do, where people, what do they want? They want freedom, which we call retirement, where they no longer have to make an income because they're making enough income producing assets that they no longer have to show up for a job. Thanks, Barry. Villains and heroes. He's exactly right.
Every Marvel movie uses it.
And so we can create stories of transformation arcs where somebody who thought they wouldn't be able to ever retire ends up retiring. Somebody who maybe thought that they could never be able to pass on multi-generational wealth, and they go through this journey and they figure it out, and they find a mentor and a coach and an advisor, and then you watch the transformation of them being able to achieve that lifelong dream. There's all kinds of transformation, but there's two others. The next one would be that expertise arc, and that's where you're going to be dropping wisdom, and it builds authority, and you leave people wanting more of that expert's advice, and so they want to keep coming back for more. Like I binge Gary V, one of my favorite YouTube influencers. Brian, who are experts that you binge on a regular basis?
I like Alex Hermosi. He's great. Cody Sanchez, she's great.
Mm-hmm.
And those, and if you watch people like that, they've really nailed this. They're experts in their field, but they're also great storytellers, and they can take whatever information and they boil it down into like a 5th grade reading level, and they present it with that narrative story arc. So by the end of a 1 minute or 20 minute or however long video, you feel like you've gotten value and you've gone on that journey with them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think that tends to be the most popular that advisors choose. I'm I was in theater in college, high school and college. So I tend to gravitate towards the journey, the drama. But as financial advisors, expertise is, I think, their kind of sweet spot where they're comfortable. Here's one I'm going to make people uncomfortable with. And you shared this with me as kind of the behind the scenes. I think Gary V does this where he live streams, but he's doing it on the run. Like they have a crew with him as he gets in the car to go to his next business meeting.
Oh, yeah, like a vlog style.
It's like documentary of his life.
Yeah.
And so the real life behind the scenes story arc, because when it's real life, you're on the edge of your seat, not knowing what, like if he's going to go record a podcast with somebody, you don't know how that podcast is going to go. And you kind of want to see how he's rushing into the room late and they're trying to put headphones on him. You kind of want to see behind the scenes. That always creates curiosity for me.
Yeah, and it does build real authority, because you can tell people you're an expert all day long, but when you show them, like you show them how the sausage is made, right? That you get to see them with clients, or you get to see them doing the thing that they're talking about all the time, and then people go, wow, he really does know what he's talking about.
Yeah. And so the three, again, I'm just going to kind of recap: transformation or drama, the expertise arc, or the behind the scenes arc. I want everybody who's live today with us, please put in the chat, which one are you most comfortable with? Just intuitively, which one seems like it fits your personality the most? Transformation, drama, expertise, or behind the scenes? Put that in the chat, and we'll see kind of where people are at, or advisors are at, getting real feedback in real time. While you guys do that, we're going to play the next video.
Hi, I'm here to tell you about my business. We do things, important things. Please believe me.
Cut! Stop! That's not a docuseries. That's a hostage video.
You should already know there are 3 killer arcs you can use. The transformation arc, a quick visual flip that shows your dramatic shift from struggling and stuck to confident and thriving.
The expertise arc. This shares knowledge in a playful way, so engaging even ordinary objects feel profound.
The behind the scenes arc, a raw, relatable peek at the messy reality behind the polished front. Funny, human, and authentic.
That's so entertaining.
Yeah.
I love it. So let's talk structure. Now we talked about the different arcs. Now we have to structure within the arc. And first, if you don't hook people, they'll be gone faster than the last time somebody asked me to do karaoke or my daughter asked me to do a TikTok dance with her, because I don't do either. I don't dance, I don't sing, right?
No, thank you.
Here's the anatomy of a good episode. One, and we've talked about this a lot, but it applies to everything in your life. Have you ever had somebody say to you, get to the point? Well, that's the
time.
hook.
My wife, all the time.
Get to the hook. The hook is, hey, if you be patient with me, here's what I'm going to give you. Tell it up front instead of them wondering, where is he going with this story? And thank God Brian and I are similar enough to where I can kind of read his mind and see where he's going. So even if he doesn't tell me, I still know where he's going.
Yeah.
But a hook is essential. Then you have the story, and that's the journey that you want to go through to root that main character on, or characters on. And then, of course, the takeaway. What's the life lesson learned from today's episode or story? What's the takeaway? And takeaway could be, oh my gosh, that doesn't look good for the main character. I want to watch the next episode to see if he survives, right? And so that could be the takeaway of the day. And then the teaser, of course, what are you going to get to see if you come back and watch the next episode? Of that process, Brian, what do you think people miss the most on these because they're not in the production film industry?
All of it.
Okay, well, there you go.
A lot of people will start with a hook. They might come up with a hook, but then they just kind of ramble on. There's no real narrative. There's no, like what you said, the meat, the drama. There's no story in it, and they might come up with a takeaway, like they present the thing, and then they say, okay, here's what you learned. So that's the takeaway. And then, we don't have it in here in the notes, but the call to action too. Every piece of content should ask for something, because it's Gary V's book, right? Jab, 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 right hook. It's give value, keep giving. And after you've given enough value, you've told a story, they've learned something, there's a takeaway, and then you can ask for a sign up or a phone call or download my PDF or whatever it is.
And that's why we're not calling these micro dramas, and we're calling them docuseries, because in a docuseries, it's always you building a case for real life, because obviously we are trying to help people in the financial industry, help people in their real lives. So we're documenting real stories and journeys. And I see like the takeaway, or what you said, the call to action, right? It's kind of like if you just had an episode where somebody committed suicide, and then what comes up on the screen at the very end? If you or somebody else has had any suicidal thoughts, call this 1-800 number. And
that's a great example.
That would be a CTA, right? You're calling them to some sort of action.
Right.
All right. So how this works? So your audience remember, is going to need the next episode. So don't forget to tease them into the next episode so you have another opportunity for a CTA or call to action or delivering the offer. Let's quickly, I'm looking at the comments, transformation, expertise, transformation. I'm shocked as many people who are saying transformation, the drama style. That's great. We have a lot of creative people. Football gambling commercials with a small print if you have gambling problem. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the CTA, right?
That's the CTA. Great analogy, Allison. That is so true. Or no animals have been hurt in this film. We donated $30,000 to this animal organization.
Right.
Okay, so okay, Stephen. I'll answer it. North Carolina. Cliffhangers sound great, but I'm going to let you answer this, but how do I do one without feeling gimmicky or cringy?
That's a great setup. We'll get to that when we show the episode. But if you've ever watched Dateline or one of those murder like documentary shows where they highlight, this serial killer, they might have a half-hour long show, but they break it up into 4 or 5 little chunks. And then at the end, just before they go to the commercial, they go, and then when we come right back, we'll show you how X, Y, and Z. So you're setting it up, you create tension and you build that pressure, and then you leave them hanging and you go, we'll be right back. And then you'll see the next part. And so it hooks people through the commercial, right? So you want to drag people, like I say, drag them kicking and screaming into the next episode.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
So much pressure that they can't not watch it.
Right. Even news channels do this really well. And it's the about to go to a break. Coming up, we're gonna go exclusively to the stadium where there's a protest going on.
Yeah.
And we're gonna bring in expert so and so who's going to answer all of our questions. And then they go to break.
Yeah.
So,
and then you're thinking, well, I was going to go to work, but I'll hang around for 5 more minutes to watch.
I just want to watch. Yeah, I want to watch that segment because you're interested in that segment. Yeah, for sure. And we have an example actually that Marie, our producer, created. So let's watch the cliffhanger video.
Stop. Do you want to know the #1 thing that ruins videos? Okay, it's bad structure. If you don't hook people, tell a story, and wrap it up, viewers disappear faster than free pizza at the office. That actually makes sense. So every episode needs hook, story, takeaway, and a teaser for what's next. Okay, 4 steps. Got it. And tomorrow, I'll tell you the $50K mistake I made by ignoring this.
Wait, what mistake?
Guess you'll have to watch.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like okay, power of repetition. Super Bowl ads are 60 seconds in the first half, 20 seconds in the second half, because viewers are conditioned to replay the whole thing. Yep, you are exactly right. And they may even, like I do, go back and go to YouTube, and then I want to watch all the commercials again the next day because they're so they're $1 million commercials. Who wouldn't want to watch them a second time, right? So enough theory, because we've been talking a lot about theory, but I want to get to application as well. So let me show you how we can actually make these things happen. Everything we just talked about, how you use that strategy, and how do you actually go through the process of production. Now, if you are using a VA to do this for you, then you don't need to pay so much attention. If you're doing this to yourself, pay close attention. This will be on YouTube. You can replay it, rewind, and go step by step. You can see exactly what tools we use in the steps along the way. But we're going to watch a tutorial that was created by our executive producer and our producer, Brian and Marie. And then I'm going to let Brian take over after this tutorial is over.
All right, buckle up. I'm about to show you how to make AI videos that look like Hollywood, but cost less than a trip to Taco Bell. We're using my workshop builder, basically my pet robot that makes workshops, influencers, and videos while you sit there looking cool. Let's look at how we can do this. This is Workshop Builder GPT. You press any of the buttons in this GPT and boom, it starts giving you movie tips like it's your bossy film teacher. It'll help you with stuff like image prompts, video prompts, filmmaking tips, and a teach me how button as well. Basically, it's a one-click creative coach that dishes out image prompts, video prompts, filmmaking tips, and step-by-step guides the moment you hit a button. Now, as we mentioned in our masterclass on how to create your own docuseries, we need a good story. Once you have your story, you need to create your characters. The best place to do this is on Whisk. No, not the one for baking. We mean Google Whisk. This is Google's tool that lets you use images as prompts to visualize your ideas and tell your story. And do you remember the first button in our workshop builder? Yep, we have an image prop generator that is perfect to use in Google Whisk. Here's the deal. Do not be lazy. Don't just say guy standing outside. That's boring. You should at least say cool dude in a bright yellow suit with blue polka dots, standing on a golf course at sunset, holding a golf club. The more details, the better. Otherwise, AI will give you a freaky six-finger alien golfer. Nobody wants that. Once you've got your prompt ready, head over to Google Whisk. Upload your reference photo, and this is key. Make sure it's the highest quality you can get. Bad input equals bad output, so don't skip this step. Now, drop in your prompt and bam, it spits out images. Think, you in a yellow suit posing for prom. You know, if prom was on Mars. Fair warning, sometimes you'll see extra fingers, floating random objects, or faces that look a little cursed. Totally normal. Just hit regenerate and keep rolling. It's that easy. Now that you've got your image, it's time to bring it to life. Enter Google Flow, an AI filmmaking tool built by creatives for creatives. With it, you can turn still shots into cinematic clips, scenes, and stories using Google's most powerful generative AI. Choose frames to video to make the magic happen. Want YouTube? Go landscape. TikTok? Go vertical. Either way, it's plug and play simple. Like any generative AI, the secret is in the prompt. Type something like, the man in this image says, "Welcome to the Advisor Marketing Hub workshop tutorial." And boom!
Welcome to the Advisor Marketing Hub workshop tutorial.
Your picture comes alive, like Frankenstein with Wi-Fi. Creepy? Yes. Awesome? Absolutely. So say you don't want to use your face? Fine. You can use HeyGen's public avatars, or you can create your own AI influencer. Just type a fancy lady sipping wine on a balcony in Whisk or ChatGPT. The AI makes a whole new person. Congrats! You just invented an Instagram influencer who never asks for breaks or kombucha. Remember, AI messes up sometimes. Weird hands, broken audio, creepy eyes. Don't freak out. Just try again. But hey, don't spam random prompts or you'll waste all your credits faster than I waste money on bad coffee. Be smart. And that's it. Workshop Builder plus Google Whisk plus Google Flow plus maybe HeyGen equals you, looking like a film director without needing a Hollywood budget. Remember, the secret is good prompts. Bad prompts equals trash videos. Great prompts equals Netflix fidelity. Now get out there and make some AI magic. And if your character shows up with 6 fingers, well, you can always just call it modern art, right? And if all this feels like a lot, don't worry. We've got your back. Just schedule a call using the link in the comments or description, and we'll walk you through every step. That's a wrap for this tutorial. Catch you in the next one, and as always, thanks for watching.
And Brian, I'm going to turn it over to you, I promise. But I did want to compliment both AI and you and Marie. We've been working on docuseries ourselves, and the difference between the hyper-realistic clone that Marie just used in that video we just saw, significant improvement from when we started 8 weeks ago on one of our documentaries creating clones. So it's great to see both in the tutorial say, if you're not happy with it, regenerate. Just try again. And
Yeah.
it will iterate, and you'll eventually get the quality that you want.
Yes. And also, we're learning day by day, and the AI and the generation, the models are improving literally week by week. Something new comes out every week that blows away what was available last week. It's moving so fast. I've never seen technology move this fast.
Yeah. So how hard has it been for you, or how easy was it for you when you started getting into this process and trying to figure out, like, you had to figure out all of what we just taught in that video, you had to figure out on your own. How long did it take you to figure out and iterate until you were happy?
Probably a good month, I think. And then, but then the learning curve just shortens. Then it's like, now I'm learning something new like every day, and improving, and it's just incredible. It's been a lot of fun too.
And then you turned around and shared some of your thoughts, ideas, and things that you've learned with Marie, who's produces this show. And I'm going to ask Marie to turn her
Marie's just
microphone.
taking it to a whole nother level. I sent her a tutorial, and like the next day, there was something even better than what I had created.
Yeah. And so, Marie, if you just turn your mic on for 1 second, how long did it take you to figure it out, to create your first piece of content that you were confident enough to use on social media?
So, it might have been a good 3 weeks or so, Rob.
Okay.
It's nice that we have access to all of the tools because we're able to really practice and hone um, every skill that we're supposed to have when we're doing the docuseries. So yeah.
Well, you're doing a great job, and creativity is everything. Brian, do you want to walk through really quickly? We mentioned all of the softwares. Can you walk people through the softwares again with pricing and expected budget so that they understand what's involved if they're going to use these tools?
Yeah, and there's a lot of them, and I haven't even really experimented with most of them. The one that I found to work probably the easiest and the simplest to be able to train other people on, which gives a really good output, is all done through Google. There's Google just created the new AI generator called Nano Banana, which is built into part of their workflow. It's actually Gemini 2.5, but the image generator is called Nano Banana, and that's the one that they're using inside of Whisk. So if you have a Google account, you can get access to Whisk with unlimited generations. Google Flow.
But that is a paid account. So what's the cost of that account?
Well, it's part of Google AI. So if you get the AI Studio, I think it's $25 a month. 2,500 credits.
Maybe more than that, and starts out.
Honestly, I didn't really look at the price. I just put in my credit card and started going.
Yeah, of course. Marie, you signed up for some of these services. Do you know what you've spent on them?
So for Google One, I think for the credits that I have for Google Flow, you get 1,000 credits every month if you have a subscription, and the subscription costs like around $23 to $24. And then if you want to add more credits, like there's a top up of 2,500 credits, and that costs around another $24.
Okay.
And in Whisk, I'm not exactly sure what the credits are, but it's tied to your Google account, which is part of those credits. In Google Flow, which uses VO3 for video generation, I think an 8-second video is $1 or $2. It's 10 credits, so whatever that works out to be.
Yeah. Garth's asking a good question. Brian, if you want to read that there. And Garth, what we do is because we research AI, the goal is we do this for you, and we announce what we think is working best for us. and is easiest for adoption for beginners. And so what we're recommending to you too is, and I would say start with ChatGPT and HeyGen. That's the easiest way to get started. Now, if you want to do some of these other really creative animations, like the other characters that were created during today's episode, that's when you're going to have to switch over to the Google platform. And it's a set of tools that comes with, it's an upgrade in your Google Workspace for another $25, and it gives you these credits. And then that's when you can take the whole thing to the next level. HeyGen is $25 a month. And I think you get one hyper realistic clone, and then with 100 different looks, and then you have access to all their actors.
Yeah, and if you really want to dive in deep, if anyone's really obsessed, you just go to YouTube University and you type in creating consistent AI characters, and you'll just see just tons. And every week there's a new video on a new tool that just came out. So it is kind of a vicious cycle, but it's just advancement that's happening so fast. And there's a bunch of YouTubers that are doing AI filmmaking. And if you look up AI filmmaking or AI characters, you'll have weeks worth of content to dig through.
Yeah. And again, our entire team, that's all we do all week long, is researching what we think is the most effective tools for the price for beginners.
So just show up every Friday.
And then we're even launching a new private members group where we're actually going to give you access, and we're inviting virtual assistants from all over the world who are already proven content creators to join that private membership group, so that you have a chance to collaborate with people who are already doing this. So that'll be coming in October. We'll talk more about that.
That's going to be amazing.
Anything else you want to share before we show the sample of episode of our rough draft beta version of the first docuseries?
Yeah, this is episode 2 out of the docuseries, and I think it does a really good job of showing, the likeness, the hyper realistic host, which is the advisor, and the B-roll that we created using AI, which also is a narrative storytelling tool. So I call it see and say. So if the voice is saying something, we want to see a picture. We don't want to just see a talking head for 20 minutes, right? We want to see some story. So that was all created with AI using the tutorial that Marie just showed. It's basically the same process. So we can watch it and just talk about it after.
Let's watch it.
Work hard, save in your 401k, and someday retire comfortably?
A major change in retirement planning today. Congress has approved new 401k provisions, allowing workers to set aside pre-tax dollars. It's a move many believe will reshape how Americans save for their future.
That was the government's pitch. But what if the retirement system we were all sold was never designed to protect you, only to benefit Washington and Wall Street? In this episode, we uncover how the retirement playbook was rigged from the very beginning.
My dad retired from Ford with a pension. Every month, that check came. No stress, no market risk. He never worried.
For most of the 20th century, American workers relied on pensions. Your company promised to take care of you for life. It wasn't perfect, but it was predictable. But in the 1970s, corporations realized pensions were expensive, risky, and Wall Street saw an opportunity. Enter the 401k, a new way to shift responsibility and risk from corporations to you.
The 401k wasn't designed to be the main retirement vehicle. It started as a tax loophole, but once employers saw it cut their costs, they abandoned pensions. And the government, Wall Street, and big corporations all benefited.
Hits himself stopping for 23,758.
The 401k handed Wall Street the keys to your future. Every paycheck, money flows from your pocket into their system.
They told us it was safe. Just set it and forget it. But no one explained the fees. We lost thousands over the years just in management costs.
1% in hidden fees may not sound like much, but over a lifetime, it can cost you 1/3 of your retirement.
These guys are scamming us. I don't like having things hidden from me. It's our money.
If you go through this information packet for these fees, I'm sure that either your head will be on your chest, your eyes will be glazed over, and you simply will not be able to decipher the information that you need as the saver.
Money is being siphoned out every year. It's like having a leaking bucket.
And the chances of ending up behind the 8 ball are very large.
First of all, no one knows exactly when bond markets are going to decide this is not sustainable. What you don't want to do is wait until the bond markets blow the whistle.
And when markets crash, guess who takes the hit? You, not Wall Street, not Washington. This is the great deception. Defer taxes now, you'll be in a lower bracket later. That's what they told us. But look around, taxes aren't going down. With $37 trillion in debt and rising, do you really believe Washington will cut your tax bill?
When we retired, our income dropped, but so did our deductions. No kids at home, house paid off. Suddenly we're paying more tax than when we worked.
And that's the trap. Your biggest tax bill doesn't hit while you're working. It hits when you're retired, when you can least afford it.
And we're taking a hell of a bet because we have to start reforming entitlements, or we will in my view, we will have to raise taxes. Now, precisely how high it's going to be, there's a lot of room to debate, but people will have to pay more taxes. And that's painful. But you can't get away with stuff forever for nothing.
We thought we'll travel, see the world. Instead, we budget every dollar. Half of what we pull out goes to taxes or medical bills. It's certainly not the retirement we dreamed of.
And you're not alone. Millions of Americans built their lives around a retirement playbook that was never built to protect them. The American dream of a secure retirement has become a mirage. Families who trusted the system are finding out too late. The system was never designed for them. So here's the truth. Washington and Wall Street created a retirement system that shifts all the risk to you, while they keep all the rewards. If you're starting to wonder whether the playbook you're following was designed to keep you trapped, you're right. And if you want to know how to break free, schedule a call with me and we'll walk through your options. Because in our next episode, we'll uncover the real tax time bomb, why rising tax rates could devastate your retirement savings, and what you can do to protect yourself before it's too late.
All right.
There you go. Cliffhanger.
So, yeah, there's the cliffhanger and the tease. And there was a CTA in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to remind all the advisors on the call, the idea of these short micro episodes is to give people a chance to give the advisor a chance not only to host it, because we using AI are able to take my narration and take me as the host out of the docuseries and put in another advisor, and it can be done in a matter of a day. And now you're inviting them. You're the one who's teaching it. You're the one who's guiding them through and giving the CTA and inviting them to actually set up an appointment with you. That's the magic behind these, is that we want to make sure you're teaching all your own content.
It builds connection.
Yeah, without you having to create the content. Now, we have two different models. We're going to have help advisors that want to pay to create their own unique content, but we're also going to have content that's already created that you can more affordably just do a swap out. And so that's all coming in October, and we'll go more into that later. And it's going to keep getting better and better. Trust me. By the time we swap you in, the actual host, your hyper realistic clone will probably be better than what you just saw. So anything you wanted to add before we start talking about distribution, Brian?
Just something too that I think is important is, the music. The music also adds to the emotion, and that's also AI generated. You can literally type in a prompt for the type of music you want, and it'll spit out music. So this whole thing was done with AI, and a little bit of YouTube. The Wall Street floor. That old footage from the 70s. You can grab interviews and stuff off YouTube if you need them.
And the great thing about these types of docuseries is that you literally can take all of the content and chop it up, like one piece of content, and you could chop it up into 100 different pieces as teasers and to create social media influencers. There's all kinds of things that you can do using the content that will help you create ongoing, really well put together content over and over again to drive traffic to your docuseries.
Yes.
And educational. These are great lead nurturers too. What if you meet with someone and they're interested, but they want to learn more because they're 100% confident, and this is, everybody's going to have a different topic. But in this particular series, if they think 401ks are the greatest thing ever, and you're trying to make the case for what the vulnerabilities are, you can actually email them a link to the docuseries, and it helps with nurturing and help identifying the problem that they need to be aware of and the solution that you have to solve that problem. And that's what's so great about these, is they can be used on both sides of the sales funnel and dramatically increase. Good.
And something else you said yesterday too, because what you just said, like if a client has a question and you send them a YouTube video or some video off of Bloomberg that talks about that, they're not building a connection with you. You just sent them a news article. You might as well just like snipped it out of the Wall Street Journal and just mailed it to them. But if you send them a video that has your face on it, that's you telling the story, that it builds that deeper connection, and it's like, oh, this is the guy that has all the answers, not some random YouTube video that I learned, and now I just need to find an advisor that can do the thing that I need to do.
Exactly.
You're the expert is what I'm trying to say.
That's right. You have to make yourself the expert in all of your content, and we subject matter expert, the loudest voice in the room, the authority on that subject. Yes, attention. So that's what we're doing, is we're trying to help you build, instead of doing somebody else's webinar and taking their scheduled phone calls and buying them off of them, and they've never met you or seen your face before. We want them to fall in love with the idea of working with you and your unique solution. That's why we came up with this concept, and why we think it will build significant, massive authority at a lower cost than we as advisors have experienced in our industry. It's been workshops and webinars forever. So
workshop on steroids.
Yeah, let's because we're hitting the last 10 minutes, let's really quickly answer one more question, and then we're going to get into our wrap up. Martha from Denver. I'm busy running my practice. Do I really have to follow every single step? And is there an alternative? My quick answer to that would be, in your particular case, you're probably better off taking one of our pre-built workshops and having us just swap you in, so that you don't have to follow every step of the process. If that's your concern, that would be my solution. Or partner with a VA, join our private membership group, find a VA who has experience doing this, and partner with them to create something unique if you want unique content.
Yeah. And mention too, Rob, and we're going to be in the membership group too, right? Yep. We're going to be there coaching you, answering questions. It's going to be like this Friday workshop session, but in a closed group, just 100% of our attention.
Yeah, and open Zoom. It's not a webinar. It's an open Zoom call where everybody can collab.
And there's going to be courses and tutorials and discussions and highlighting examples, and VAs are going to be in there answering questions. It's going to be a very active group, and I think it's going to benefit everyone.
That's exactly right. And instead of thinking of this as just the docuseries, this bottom of the funnel, lead capture and nurture, think of it as an entire ecosystem for the top of the funnel too. Remember, you can use this content at every step of the sales funnel process to create authority. So let's watch the next video, and then we'll wrap it up for the day.
Hey man, what's with the bulk buy? One docuseries episode is the same. Buy one, get 20 free. So one video does it all? Full video, short clips, graphics, emails, even sales deck. Best Costco deal ever.
Exactly.
And so you can see Maria is using one avatar to create all kinds of content. Now, the avatar, because we're not going to spend a ton of time, money, and credits, vaguely looks like me, vaguely sounds like me. But why are we doing that and not perfecting it? I don't want people to think that's me. I just want people to get more and more familiar with what I look like and sound like. And then it's going to be vague. I know that guy from so well. If they've consumed enough avatars that look and sound like me, it's going to start to become familiar to them.
Yes.
So that's where we wanted to talk about the ecosystem and why fun animated lookalikes can actually increase your authority. Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna quickly highlight some of these things. Remember, don't just dump episodes and ghost your audience. Okay, you're not Netflix with $1 million advertising, probably $500 million advertising budget. Okay, you got to do better than that, which means you're going to have to drive traffic, and you're going to have to be consistent with posting or do Facebook advertising, which is an option. That's like pouring gasoline on the fire, making sure that you drive traffic. You don't want to build this great piece of content and have nobody watch it. You got to be consistent, consistently driving traffic, and you've got to create anticipation. So like we just talked about the coming private membership next month, and next week we're going to be teaching how to create a social media influencer, which is really interesting because it will eliminate your need for any Facebook advertising if it's done right. And so we're super excited about that. That creates anticipation. And then the engagement loop, right? I encourage you, find a way, whether it's a live stream or in-person workshops, you want to make sure that you're asking questions from your audience. Make sure that you're putting out, even if you're sending out emails, and getting feedback from your audience, because that tells you where you need to iterate and maybe additional topics you need to cover. You need that feedback loop, and study your analytics, because that's part of the feedback loop and engagement as well. If you're putting out social media and nobody's watching, then you need to figure out why that is and make the necessary adjustments so that you can get engagement.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Good.
Oh, comments are a great way. It is a great feedback loop. It's a really simple CTA to say, leave a comment down below and ask a question, ask for feedback, and then you get feedback, and then it just cycles on itself.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We're going to do a quick recap. If you have any questions, this is like your last 5 minutes to throw them in the chat, and we'll try and address them. And again, you don't need to take notes because this will be on YouTube on replay. But when you're creating a bottom of the funnel workshop, masterclass, docuseries, micro drama, put it all in one bucket. When you're doing that bottom of the funnel and creating that, because that's your conversion tool, you need to do these 5 things. Make sure that you have a story strategy, right? We talked about story arc. Make sure that you have an episode structure. How do you break those episodes up to where you create the anticipation for the next episode? Production. When you're doing production, don't overdo it. Keep it raw but keep it real, meaning your content has to be real, but your production doesn't need to be perfect. People kind of like seeing the chinks in the armor, and don't take yourself too seriously. As long as your content is valuable, then that's all that matters. And production will get better over time because tech will get better and you will get better, or your VA
your
will.
skills are going to grow so fast.
For sure. And I encourage everybody to at least get a HeyGen and a ChatGPT account. That's going to cost you $50, and play around, create just 1 or 2 pieces of content on your own. Now, you don't want to do any of that, hire a VA, that's fine. But I still encourage, all of you have creativity in you. And I encourage you to pull that creativity out by playing around and trying a few things. And then please share them with us. Please submit them to us, rob@amhsupport.com, because we want to be able to highlight what you guys are creating because that's where we all can collaborate and give each other new creative ideas. And then distribution, make sure you are distributing your content throughout your entire ecosystem on a regular basis and be persistent. And yes, if 3-4 months in, you're still struggling, that's okay. There are people who've been YouTubing for 5 years and are still struggling. It's getting attention and competing with everybody else who's trying to get attention. It is a challenge. Now, again, the default is you can just default to Facebook advertising if you want, but there's going to be a large cost that comes with that. All right, and then distribution, just making sure that you're creating enough content where you can grab good clips from it or recreate new clips using the same character, because then you can control the script. I like that better than just taking clips from an actual docuseries, because you can structure it hook, story, offer, which is what we've talked about. And then launch and make sure this is the biggest piece that people miss. You have to follow up with engagement. Like if you put questions in your own comments, ask people, tag people. Hey, I want to know what you think about this. Tag them to the post. Ask them to ask a question.
Yeah, ask for a comment. Do you agree or disagree? Leave your answer in the comments. That's a really easy way to get engagement. And the algorithm loves engagement.
No doubt. If you have any VAs. Okay, so Barry, we offer VAs, and we vet them, which is an enormously challenging process, by the way. But that will be available in our private membership in October. And of course, our team is trained in this. We've been training our team just like Marie every single day. Sheila's a superstar at this, and a few others that we can recommend. But we're inviting in outside subcontractors in the private group at which you can meet as well. All right. And Marie says consistency is king, is always key. Yes, for sure. Okay. So we talked already about the private membership coming October. Wednesday will be our Digital Advisor Weekly, and I wanted you guys to understand how we run our funnel. The Digital Advisor Weekly 20-minute episode is like the class syllabus with the description of, hey, if you come to this class, this is what you're going to learn. The Friday masterclass is the lecture. That's where we are up here trying to walk you guys through every piece of the puzzle, and you're taking notes. But the private membership, that's the lab. That's the lab where we're actually going to sit around tables and actually make stuff together in real time.
We're going to dissect frogs.
We'll be dissecting frogs. That's right. Just virtually and without the smell of formaldehyde. All right. Well, that's it for today's masterclass. I can't wait to see your first docuseries take shape, because attention isn't given, it's captured. And I'm encouraging you to take control of your own business and capture attention by creating compelling content. And episodic storytelling is the sharpest tool right now in the marketing shed that we can find, and we've been looking at everything. So don't forget, next week, Digital Advisor Weekly, we're going to be showing you the value of creating an AI social media influencer so you're less dependent on any sort of advertising, and you can drive more traffic for free, more organic traffic to your docuseries. And of course, in next Friday's masterclass, we'll show you exactly how step-by-step and the tools we use to create your own AI social media influencer. By the way, VAs, this is the AI social media influencers are being created by our VAs faster than probably any of the advisors will. And then you can partner with a VA who has an influencer ready to go that could drive traffic to your docuseries.
And I would add that I think the influencers are even a more integral and important part than the docuseries, because that's where all your traffic comes from.
And last golden nugget are advisors who who take the route of creating their own docuseries, and you would like to lease that out to other advisors in other territories, we will sell it for you and pay royalties. So that's another way of offsetting costs if you want to do something really unique. And then the same thing with our VAs on this call. If they create an influencer and lease it out to an advisor, they're going to get paid royalties for the traffic that they drive. And those royalties will come from us. So we're looking forward to putting all that together, and we'll be launching that in October. Super excited. Until then, stay sharp, stay binge-worthy, and we will see you in the digital world.